"Sir, don't get on that plane. It has a bomb. It was sabotaged." The desperate shout cut through the noise of the engines at the private airport. Alejandro Montoya stopped on the first step of his executive jet, cell phone in hand, closing a $50 million deal. At 52 years old, the magnate had never stopped for anything, much less for the voice of a child. The little boy was running toward him from the cargo area, waving his arms desperately. He couldn't have been more than 7 years old, dark skin, curly hair, worn sandals, simple clothes, and a look full of fear. "Please, don't get on that plane." Alejandro ended the call. "What are you saying, kid?" "I heard 2 men talking," he replied breathlessly. "They put something on your plane. They said that when you got on, you wouldn't come out alive." The pilot Javier signaled from the cockpit. Everything was ready. "How did you get into this area?" Alejandro asked. "Serious. I clean bathrooms at night to earn some coins. I don't have a dad or mom. Last night it was raining a lot. I hid in a container and slept there. This morning I heard them talking." The boy swallowed hard. One had gray hair, a beard, a tattoo on his neck. He called him Alejandro. He said that today would be your last flight, and laughed, saying it would look like an accident. Alejandro's blood ran cold at the description. It could only be one person, Hector Salazar, his former partner, expelled years earlier for fraud. "Javier, get off the plane now," Alejandro shouted. Seconds later, a deafening explosion turned the jet into a ball of fire. Alejandro fell to the ground. When he managed to get up, he desperately looked for the boy. He was kneeling next to the container, paralyzed by shock. "What's your name?" he asked with a broken voice. "Mateo," the boy replied. "You saved my life." Days later, to the world, Alejandro Montoya had died. Hector celebrated, sure that he would soon take over the company. What he didn't know was that Alejandro was still alive, working in secret with the federal police. And it was Mateo who provided the final piece. "I heard them talk about a man named Ramon Castañeda," the boy said. "They said he already had everything ready to divide the company. After your death, Ramon was the president of the board." At the decisive meeting, the door opened. "Good afternoon. I imagine my presence is a surprise." Alejandro walked in. The silence was absolute. Hector turned pale as if he had seen a ghost. The evidence appeared one after another. Audios, sabotage, fake contracts, multi-million-dollar diversions. Hector was arrested. Ramon fell shortly after. The company was saved. But the greatest change was not in business. Alejandro took Mateo to live with him. He gave him a home, education, a family. One morning, before going to school, the boy asked in a low voice, "Mr. Alejandro, would you accept being officially my dad?" With tears in his eyes, he replied, "It would be the greatest honor of my life." He lost almost everything for trusting the wrong person, but gained something infinitely greater by listening to the right person. Moral: